Welcome back to BTN Live. Various teams around the conference have made strides this season, led by extremely talented coaches. Coach Fitzgerald brought his Wildcats from a 5-7 season to being on pace for 11 wins. And Mark D'Antonio continues to battle with that chip on his team's shoulders. They head to the Big Ten Championship. But Kirk Ferentz is taking his team there for the first time in school history. And he is your 2015 Big Ten Coach of the Year. He is in his 17th season at Iowa, tied with Bob Stoops for second longest tenured coach. He won all 4 of his trophy games this season after not winning any last year. And he heads to Indy this weekend to face the Spartans for the top spot in the conference and a potential playoff spot. That's Kirk Ferentz, your Big Ten Coach of the Year. Dave?
And we are pleased to be joined now by the Big Ten Coach of the Year, Kirk Ferentz, who is in our studio in Iowa City. Coach, congratulations. I know you have won this award 3 previous times, but that was old Kirk. This is new Kirk. In all seriousness, what makes winning it this time particularly satisfying?
Well, they've all been very special, and I'm just feel humbled and honored to be the recipient. And it's kind of like an MVP trophy. It really is a team award. I'm very fortunate. I work in a great place with a lot of great people. Be our players, our staff, our support staff. They've just been tremendous, and it's been a lot of fun this year.
I have to be honest with you, I did not see this coming when we were at camp. I know based on the predictions my colleagues made after we left, they didn't necessarily either. I think we all thought it would be a good team. I don't think we thought it would be a great team. Are you surprised that it is a great team?
Well, yeah, I don't know about the great team stuff yet. We are a good team, and we've played well 12 times out. So we're not a flashy team necessarily, but we're a team that's really, I think, the guys have played hard, they've practiced hard, prepared hard. And when it's game time, they compete. So it's really been impressive to watch the guys. And it really started back in January, quite frankly.
Now, tell me about that decision that you made in January to go with C.J. Beathard. You held a very unusual news conference where you basically said, I'm kind of starting from scratch. I'm committing myself to being here more. And I'm changing a lot of the things that we're doing within the program. Tell me what was the chain of events that led you to get to that point?
You know, it's interesting. When you say you have 2 quarterbacks, usually you don't have any. I think it's proven out that we had 2 very good ones. Jake's done a great job this year. And actually, 2 years ago, we had Cody Suckle, who did a great job at Louisiana Tech a year ago as well. So we've been very fortunate. But that part of the equation was really about CJ's development and his maturity, just his growth last year. And we felt like we had to make a decision for the benefit of everybody back in January. And last season, quite frankly, we had a couple games that ended up in a disappointing fashion. So it gave us a chance as a staff to put everything on the table and just talk about everything about our program and see if we couldn't do some things maybe to improve and move forward.
I think we all know the scrutiny that you were under in the state. You were 19-19 over the previous 3 years. There was definitely some grumbling from probably a small group, but a vocal group. Were you at any point thinking, hey, maybe this has run its course?
No, not really. And that comes with the territory. If you're going to coach and you coach long enough in one place, you're going to have the valleys as well as the peaks. So, you know, you better get used to that. And really, I got to tell you, Dave, I think if, to me, the change in our program really took place in 2012. Norm Parker retired. Ken O'Keefe joined Joe Philbin down in Miami. So we had new leadership with our coordinators. And soon thereafter, you know, a lot of staff turnover. So we really have 6 new coaches on board since 2013. And to me, that was the beginning of things. We had a very good team in 2013. Took us a little step backward last year, but over the last 3 years right now, we've won 27 football games. So we're very proud of what the team's accomplished.
Let's focus in on this weekend. I know it's a really exciting time for Hawkeye fans. It has been a while since you played a game of this magnitude, but certainly you've been in some enormous games during your time in Iowa City. It's just not with this group of players. So how do you handle with this group what for them is an unusual game?
Well, first of all, I'm glad not to be sitting on my couch watching the 5th Big Ten championship game. I've watched 4 from the couch in our basement, so that's exciting. Not to be sitting around and actually be working this weekend's great. But as far as our whole football team goes, you know, they've done a great job all season. We've played in a lot of big games this year. Our Illinois State game was a big game for us. So, you know, it's another game. It's a very important game. But I think one reason this team's been successful, they've treated every challenge like it was important. So, you know, this is one more in the road.
Are you someone who mentions the stakes Kirk, do you emphasize the stakes during the course of the week and before the game?
I don't think I have to. And these guys are in college, they're pretty smart. And I said last week, some of them don't have cars, they may not eat, may not have clothes, but they all get technology. So they know what's going on. And really, from our standpoint, we've been in a playoff mode since the start of November.
What stands out to you as you watch Michigan State, Coach?
Where do you want me to start? Yeah, they're just awfully impressive on both sides of the ball. Connor Cook's a tremendous quarterback. But they're balanced. They run the ball very effectively. Certainly he throws it well. They've got great receivers, good tight ends. And on defense, typical Michigan State, they're extremely talented. They're very well coached. And it starts up front. They've got an outstanding defensive line. So it's going to be a big challenge for us on both sides of the ball.
To win, you must do what?
Well, probably about 8 things on that list. But both teams have done a good job taking care of the football this year. That's going to be a big factor. Special teams are always a big factor. Yeah, and then, we're just going to have to play our absolute best, but that's what you're supposed to do each week. You're supposed to grow as a football team and try to improve. So I really think that's our focus as much as anything.
Big Ten Coach of the Year, Kirk Ferentz. Coach, again, congratulations on the award. It has really been fun to watch this team this year, and we look forward to seeing you guys in Indianapolis on Saturday playing for a Big Ten championship.
Thanks, Dave, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Now, there you see the numbers for the Coach of the Year, often determined by who most exceeds preseason expectations. And it is fair to say Ferentz has done that by an enormous margin, a 5-winning increase over last year, premised largely on not making mistakes. They're plus 20 when compared to last season in turnover margin, from -6 to plus 14. Those 203 rushing yards per game, their most since 2002.